What's up guys, it's Kevin here. Today I thought I want to have a fun video and just share with you guys on things that I thought that surprised me when I was traveling to Seoul, South Korea. Usually before I travel, I always have a preconceived idea of what the place would be like because of the media and news. Sometimes things actually just surprise me. They're not exactly as what I expected, and that's usually the best part about traveling. Honestly guys, I recommend everyone to travel to Seoul, see for yourself, immerse yourself in the culture. It's a really beautiful place. Now I'm going to share about different categories or topics lightly on things that surprised me. The first one being the people, more specifically the fashion. Now I always thought that people in Seoul are going to be super fashionable. If you see the media, everyone in K-pop and K-dramas are dressed up as if they're going to a fashion show. However, in reality, when I went to Seoul, everyone around me was wearing black and white shades. I was really shocked. Is this really how it is in reality? They were wearing oversized tees, sport shorts, and slippers with socks. Everyone was wearing like that. I was the only one wearing color. In the train or in a group, I was wearing neon pink, I was wearing bright blue, floral patterns. I could see that people were staring at me because I'm the only one in that whole section wearing color. Okay, that is pretty surprising. The same goes for their cars. On the streets, when I'm walking around, every other car is also in black and white. I think it's really a trend or a culture thing, and the streets you can just see is a panda or a zebra just moving along in these two colors. And of course their local car brands, Hyundai and Kia, are really popular, probably the most popular brands on the road. I did not know they had a higher range for the Hyundai brand called Genesis. And when I saw it on the street, oh my goodness, it looked so cool. Really futuristic cars I've never seen before. I don't think they even have them in Malaysia or any other nearby Southeast Asia region. The cars in Seoul are really modern. The next thing that surprised me, actually it doesn't really surprise me because most of the countries in that region have this concept where every 5 seconds you walk in the city, you see a convenience store. It is crazy. In Korea, the famous one is SEOUL Mart, and I love it because every other time I'm just walking in and grabbing a drink, trying a new snack. Another thing that surprised me was when I was taking the train, the underground subway, was the change of lines between each other is really far apart. If you came out of one train and you need to switch to another line in the station, you have to walk really far. It's literally a long walk upstairs, another floor, another whole new section, and I was so tired when I was going to switch the trains. You can easily miss your train because of this long distance between the stops. If you are someone who can't really walk that much, physical limitations, it's a real challenge. I don't think it's convenient at all for people in that situation to use the trains in Seoul. Outside on the roads, I noticed the cars, or at least the traffic jams in Seoul, wasn't that bad. When I was walking around, it was actually relatively okay. I didn't see a huge sprawl of congested cars, being in a standstill and they can't move, and havoc with honking. And because I use a lot of the bus for public transportation to get around, and these buses did not get caught up with the normal pedestrian cars. So because of that, you can easily get around really quickly with the bus. It's really convenient to use the bus, and I actually preferred it more than the train because I didn't have to walk so much to change between the lines. Speaking of the quantity of cars, I also noticed that the amount of people around in the city is also not significantly a lot. I think I found Seoul to be pretty mild also in terms of the amount of people walking around. So it didn't feel I was suffocating or I needed to escape from that place. Things were pretty okay. And even though there were tourists too, but it wasn't that much. I think maybe majority of people were inside the buildings or working, but generally the streets were quite sparse. No matter where I was walking, even in tourist destinations, everywhere I go it was really sparse, and sometimes you're the only person on the street. I guess that's really interesting for me, seeing how it's not that crowded, but it's perfect if you're a tourist. I remember I went to this really famous district called Itaewon on a Friday night, and I was expecting it to be really happening and lively. I went on a Friday night. It was quite late, but it was really quiet. Hardly anyone. It was kind of sad actually because it didn't give me the lively vibe I was hoping for, and eventually I left early. I didn't stay long at all in Itaewon because the environment, the vibe was pretty down. Maybe not much people are coming out nowadays or something like that. Last thing I'm going to talk about the favorite part, which is food. The most popular and common food you will find when you are there is Korean food. Like if you walk on the street, 9 out of 10 of the restaurants, maybe even 10 out of 10 is Korean food. You just have to literally pick between like 10 Korean restaurants. But what I love is how the food is so delicious. The quality of the produce there is really good. And what surprised me was the banchan, which is like the side dishes that comes with the Korean food, is unlimited. That's one. And number two, it tastes so good by itself. Like you can literally eat the banchan by itself. I am really happy eating the banchan. There was one place I went to for bibimbap, and before the bibimbap came, they gave like a lot of anchovies. I swear it was the crispiest and largest anchovies I've ever eaten. It was so delicious, so fresh. Like I think I ate so much of it by itself. The next thing about food that I observed, a lot of the dishes, especially noodles, they don't come with meat. It is literally vegetarian or at least vegetable based. So if you want to have meat, you have to order it separately. And that was really shocking and surprising to me because most of the food I eat, like in Asian cuisines, they come with meat in the dish itself. But the noodles in Korean cuisine are usually a bit on the lighter side and they don't contain heavy meats. For example, over here I ordered this like cold noodles. It was completely plain. You can see right here. It's literally served with ice to make it cold and an egg. Another one over here, I didn't know what it was, but it was like a noodles in blended tofu. And that was literally it. I was thinking like, wow, I guess meat is not something that people would have in those kind of dishes. For desserts, I noticed that if you were to go to like a shop or like a cafe and you wanted to have like local Korean desserts, there aren't really that many. I think the most they have is bingsu, and usually it looks something like this, which is shaved ice with red bean and milk, or you can even choose matcha or strawberry. And that's literally it. I walked around a few other cafes for dessert and usually it's Western dessert, but for local Korean, it's usually bingsu. It's quite refreshing. Fine shaved ice and red bean is like one of my favorite toppings. I love red bean so much. But yeah, I think I was expecting like more variety or something like that, but I couldn't really find much. On the other hand, if you wanted to eat Western desserts, there's so many, which is surprising. Western inspired pastries, or even cakes. Like I went to this cafe called Onion in Bukchon, and wow, the pastries were so good. So that just blew my mind that in Seoul you can find like really good Western patisserie. Do not go to Seoul in summer, specifically in August. When I went there, I was literally dying of heat. It was so hot with the sun burning on you and the air was really dry. Going in autumn or even like late spring would have been much better. I didn't expect myself to be like sweating so much. The shopping is really nice, especially the skincare. If you really want to get Korean skincare, going to Olive Young and of course all the other skincare boutiques, it's like half the price. This is literally a norm now where people flock to Olive Young and buy skincare on a daily basis because that's what people there really love. Alright, I think that's all I have to share for my experiences and things that surprised me visiting Seoul. Really good place to visit. I highly recommend everyone to visit there at least once and just see for yourself, you know. I think I really do want to visit Busan and Jeju Island next, something that's going to surprise me even more. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!